All right. So when I was a youngster, my dad's trademark move was throwing cell phones out the window and like buying tech shit and throwing it out and like having it laying around and not using it and like telling me to throw it out. Like, throw out, that's a $400 printer. He wouldn't say that. I would just look it up. That printer, I've never used it. I need you to throw that out. Like, that would be the thing. And I never understood this until recently. And the distinction here, this has to do with division of labor, okay? And you could even think about this in terms of like a couple, like a man and a woman, like why would the man of the house, why would the male figure in a household be washing dishes if he's the breadwinner, right? Like your time is, there's certain people have more, their time is more valuable spent certain ways. Like you wouldn't hire like you wouldn't hire some Indian like coder guy, like you wouldn't hire him period, but you wouldn't hire him especially to like lay down pavers in your driveway, right? Like there are just things you wouldn't do. You wouldn't hire a line cook to do the logo for your business. And the point, I mean, this sounds inane, but the point of this is your time is your time, everybody's time, but yours specifically is very valuable in one area, and it's really not at all valuable in probably a lot of other areas, okay? Like if I was I was gonna say car mechanic, but I actually could be a good car mechanic. If I was hired to like I don't know, install home theater equipment, like my time, what's my time worth right now? It's worth a lot. If my time as a home theater equipment installer would be worth what, like $30 an hour, like optimistically, maybe like 22. So when you're thinking about this is something that always bothered me, like when certain people, like I'm a man baby, I'm a notorious flagrant man baby. Like I don't do my own laundry. I don't do that shit, okay? I'm not going to do it. I don't do it. And all throughout my life, I've heard people, probably a lot of women saying like, yeah. But I've always viewed my time as, this is why I'm like this. It's not because I'm lazy. It's not because I'm like, have some infantile Freudian fucking age play problem. It's because I've always viewed my time as more valuable than like a professional laundry folder, okay? And the periods where I've been like, I've legit been in my car and like been eating poorly, which has not been recently, but very long time ago. Even then, I knew that my time was more valuable. The time that I would spend working on MDE and related projects, even though it wasn't making a paycheck at that point, it would be more valuable to me than doing my own laundry. Okay, and I'm probably at the extreme end of this, and I don't recommend you come join me here. But my point is, I recently understood why my dad had his signature move of throwing out pretty much unused electronics, which is that he viewed his time doing what he did as more valuable than like an IT support person. And when you're doing not only investing, but when you're doing like, this would be a good thing for anyone. This is something that you would pick up if you're doing investing, but it's good for anyone to know this shit, is fallacies. Gambler's fallacy, sunk cost fallacy. I mean, just look up list of fallacies and go through and read them, And anytime, print it out, and anytime you come across one that you recognize as having done in your life, put a star next to it, okay? And just train yourself to pick up on that, because those are all human thought paradigms that are not going to be the best logical way for you to make money. For example, sunk cost fallacy would be what my pops did not suffer from, which was, I spent $450 on this Sony Ericsson cellular phone. I'd better learn to use it. Like, no, if you spend the $450 on it in the hopes that it will be a valuable part of your life, okay? Hopefully you did some of your research and you know what phone is going to be going to most enhance your life. But as soon as it does not enhance your life, as soon as it's something that is like sucking up your time and is not promising a payback, it is now like a brick of time wasting shit, and you just should throw it out. And that's the same thing with really anything. Once something is like a net negative, or something that is distracting or stresses you out or whatever, you should like honestly and logically evaluate it with those fallacies in mind, so that you don't have some sort of emotional, like, you're not looking at it through an emotional lens that's going to prevent you from making the best decision. But oh yeah, so that was a bit of a sidetrack. So what I was talking about was, I guess, specialization, which is your time is very valuable in one aspect. And when you're young, you don't know what that is because you haven't really developed it yet, but you're on the way to developing it, which means that your time is valuable anyway, even though you haven't gotten there yet. It's like the prep work before the actual thing. It's still a tragic waste if you don't do it, if you lose that time on something else. So specialization. Don't be afraid to look at something that you are retarded at and be comfortable with being like, yeah, I'm not going to do this because I'm not retarded, because I'm retarded at this thing, and also I could be making my time is worth $200 an hour doing this other thing. So why the fuck would I do something? Why the fuck would I waste time making myself a meal that's going to take me an hour and a half to do, including the cleanup, when I could just go buy one for like $20? And that's time that I could use to make $300. Like, why? And your time is more valuable than you think. The value of your time is up to you. I mean, it's up to what you're willing to do, because you're, strictly speaking, your time is probably worth nothing. Like, I wouldn't pay you to do anything, but this all has to do with your future outcomes. If you can land yourself some sort of spot, or you can come up with a niche for yourself, or figure out some way to make money, your time at that point will be worth X amount, okay? And the lead up to that is, like, say you've got to do 8,000 hours of work before you can figure out something that is going to yield profit. You're still going to have to do 8,000 hours worth of work either way. Like, that 8,000 hours is not going anywhere. So by like vacillating between two things, you're just wasting time, which is money. So don't do that. That's it. Yeah.